Donald Trump is not going to be the president of the United States in 2025. And there are several reasons why, which I'll get into. But just because he has absolutely no shot at winning, that doesn't mean we lighten up on him. We want November 2024 to be such an embarrassing loss for Donald Trump that even his staunchest supporters are like, damn. Because of the harm that he's done to this country, he needs to be embarrassed so bad that he sulks away into Mar-a-Lago with his tail between his legs, never to disgrace a spotlight again. And that's assuming he isn't in federal prison first. You can call that Trump derangement syndrome if you want to, but I call it seeing a horrible fucking human being for who he is. I mean, how do you take someone seriously when they say that they are the most honest person in the world? I don't understand how you take anybody seriously like that. Now, I got into a huge argument with my grandfather the other day over Trump, and I blame Fox News and conservative media because the way they portray Trump does a disservice to all American citizens. Now, I came with receipts, and I still thought my grandfather was going to punch me in the face while we were in the car, and he's 84 years old. Now, my grandfather doesn't even think Trump is a despicable human being, and because conservative media doesn't report on how grotesque Trump is, it absolutely boggles my mind. So here are the receipts. This is why Trump will never disgrace the White House ever again. First, there is not an unsubstantial number of Republicans who are so disgusted by Donald Trump that they will refuse to vote for him in November. Now, I personally know 6 lifelong Republicans who say they are voting for Joe Biden in November because they cannot fathom another 4 years of Trump's nonsense. And conservatively speaking, and that's no pun intended, 15% of the Republican Party will either abstain from voting in November or they will vote for Joe Biden. Now, here's the breakdown of the states Trump could potentially lose based solely on losing 15% of the Republican Party either to not voting or voting for Joe Biden. Now, North Carolina with 16 electoral votes. Biden lost North Carolina in 2020 by about 75,000 votes. If 15% of Republicans stay home or vote for Biden, Trump loses about 330,000 votes in North Carolina. He can't afford to lose 5% of Republicans in North Carolina. And you couple that with 2.7 million unaffiliated or independent or other party registered voters, of which Trump polls extremely poorly, and you're looking at a landslide victory in North Carolina. Now, Florida and its 30 electoral votes. Trump won in 2020 by 371,000 votes. If 15% of the Republican Party in Florida, that's 750,000 votes. And there are 3.5 million independents in Florida, with abortion on the top of mind of 57% of those. Texas is similar to Florida with 40 electoral votes, and Trump's margin of victory being just 631,000. If Trump loses 15% of Republicans and more than 57% of independents, Biden could be the first Democrat president to flip Texas since Jimmy Carter in 1976. The same kind of breakdown works for Ohio as well. If any of those 4 states flip in 2024, it's a landslide for Biden. If they all flip, it's a bloodbath, and that's not in the same sense that Trump alluded to. Those 4 states have extremely narrow margins given the lack of independent support and the potential loss of Republican votes. If they all flip, the Electoral College goes in the ballpark of 410 to 128. If independents go 80-20 like I suspect them to, the margin of victory for Biden will be even more lopsided because there are other states that require the independent vote. And finally, the abortion fight has the entire country flipping on its head. It's impossible to predict how that's going to go because the flip is going to be unprecedented. That's going to be felt more in the House and the Senate than in the presidential race. But we could see the House seat 50 new Democrats in 2025 based on the abortion backlash alone. So in short, there is absolutely no way Trump wins in 2024. And we need his supporters to understand this fact. The media isn't going to do it because reporting on close polling keeps their ratings up. Now, hopefully, we reach enough people that this election doesn't break out into riots based on lies like it did in 2020. But the fact of the matter is that there is absolutely no chance in Hades that Donald Trump disgraces the White House in 2025. We just have to get his supporters to understand that so that they don't actually try to start a civil war because they believe election fraud is an actual freaking thing. It's good to be back.